He's a little bit country. He's a little bit rock and roll. He's a little bit polka, death metal, abstract jazz, and German industrial techno. He's Scott Leffler. He's not allowed near the stereo at parties.
Welcome to episode 10 of Here's the Thing. I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler, and we've got a good show for you today. I got a bunch of things I want to talk about. Then later on, we're going to bring Drew in and talk about some things with him. By the way, so yesterday, July 7th, was Drew's birthday. I think he's 41 now. I don't know. He's getting old. He doesn't admit that he's getting old, but I assure you he is. And so he'll be in today. We'll talk about his birthday and other things. I literally have no idea what we're going to talk about. There's not much going on in the sports world, so we're probably going to talk a lot about not sports. Or maybe there's things that he wants to talk about that I don't know yet. We'll find out in a little bit. But I do have a few things that I want to talk about. This is like totally random. This is just like things that have like been on my mind that I'm like, oh, I should mention that on the show. And then like when I turn the microphone on, I forget about things. So I wrote a few things down to make sure that I would remember them because, I don't know, these are just thoughts that I want to share and maybe you have similar thoughts. All right, so first of all, we're going to start with, it's a bugaboo that I have. And it maybe you think this is minor, but it annoys the living crap out of me. So you've got a phone. You've got apps on your phone. Many of those apps have notifications. So a lot of times the app will be like, do you want this notification? Yes or not now? Or do you want to change something? Yes or not now? Websites do this too, but I find that apps are worse about it. The options are yes or not now. There's no option. Like, do you want to sell your first child into slavery? Yes or not now? No should really be an option. Like, no, I know that I never want it, and obviously I'm being facetious here, but like, whatever it is that the app is asking, like, do you want to do this? And I'm like, no, I never want to do this, but I gotta hit not now, and I have to do it almost every single time I use the app. And it gets frustrating to the point where with certain apps, I don't use them anymore, because the app itself is annoying. So to those of you designing apps that want, to send notifications or whatever, and you put the options as yes or not now, change it to yes or no, and then allow me to change it in the settings later if I want to. But if I have to say yes or not now every single time I use the app, eventually the app is just going to get too annoying to deal with. So that's just a thought. Also, with the notifications thing, so several apps that I have, I get notifications via email, I get notifications via text, and then like, do you want to turn on in-app notifications? No, I don't want to do that. I already get notifications from you in two different ways. The Panera app is a good example of this, by the way. Every time I use the Panera app, it's like, see, the problem is I can't not use the Panera app. We'll get back to that in a second. But the Panera app is a good example because they're like, do you want notifications via app? Yes or not now. But I already get text messages and emails when my orders are ready. Text messages and emails both go to my phone. If you're like me, if you're like most people in the normal world, you get notifications of things via email and text or email or text or something, and it goes to your phone. Everything goes to your phone. Now, I have, I don't know, a dozen different email addresses, but one way or another, they all go to my phone. Most of my email addresses, will forward to another email address, a Gmail, for example. And it goes to my phone. And then I get the text messages too because when I signed up for the app, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get text notifications, not realizing that I was going to get text notifications and email notifications. And then every time I log into the app, it's like, do you also want, in-app notifications? And it's like, no, I don't need all those notifications. I just don't. It's so absolutely frustrating and annoying. And please, people that design apps, stop doing this. Because I will eventually, if there is an app that is too annoying, for example, the Tim Hortons app. I deleted the Tim Hortons app a couple years ago because at the time it was stupid annoying. Now my wife uses her Tim Hortons app all the time and she tells me that whatever my issue was, it's no longer an issue or whatever, but I'm just not going to download it again. And so not only did I stop using the Tim Hortons app, but I stopped going to Tim Hortons. I used to go to Tim Hortons at least once a day. every day on the way to work, and frequently during the day and or on the way from work. But at least once a day, I would buy myself an extra large triple at a cost of, $3. Well, $3 times every day is $1,000 a year that they lost out on because their app was annoying. I don't know, just a thought. So you have apps on your phone, and you have programs on your computer. But did you notice lately that they call them apps? I don't know why, but I've noticed that they now refer to them as apps. I think it's kind of funny, like they're trying to be phones, which is really funny because, so my phone, I have a Pixel 8, and I bought it, a year and a half ago or so. Now, brand new out of the box, this baby's like $800. I got it free through a series of rebates, blah, blah. Like, I had to pay for it up front, but then I got the money back through my cell phone carrier. But $800. Now, my phone has more memory, a better processor, and more storage than my first computer had. My very first computer I got in like 1997, maybe 98. Could have even been 96, but I don't think so. It was a Gateway 2000. You remember those? Remember Gateway 2000s? And they came in like the cow box. So I bought my family's first computer from Gateway 2000. And I went top of the line. Now, don't get me wrong. Like this was not like a bare bones computer. I went top of the line. I went with like the most memory they had, the fastest processor. I got like the 21-inch monitor, which was an upgrade from the 19-inch monitor. I got a scanner and a printer because I don't think scanner printers existed at the time. You had to get both. And then I got the zip drive. Do you remember zip drives? Not thumb drives, zip drives. They kind of look like floppy disks, but they were a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker, and they held like 100 megabytes as opposed to the 1.4 megabytes that floppy disks held. And all of that combined was like $3,000, and it couldn't do nearly as much as my current phone, which I basically got for free, can do. It is crazy how far we've come. And yet, computers are still the most annoying thing in the world, and apps are even worse. I don't know. Just a thought. Something that annoyed me that I thought I would let you know. Well, we're talking about annoying. So I'm out today doing my things. I had to go to Walmart, and, I went to Panera. Oh, I told you I'd get back to Panera. So I can't quit Panera, and here's why. We should get them as a sponsor because I'm gonna give them so much good press right here. So Panera has this thing called the Sip Club, the Unlimited Sip Club. And it's like $12.99 a month or $99.99 for the year. And you can go to Panera every 2 hours and get a coffee or a soft drink or a tea or one of their lemonades or several of their beverages. Every 2 hours, every day, all day, and it's $12 a month or $100 for the year. I do the yearly thing because that works out to $8 a month. So $8 a month, what is that, like 30 cents a day that I'm now spending on coffee, as opposed to the $3 at least that I was spending at Tim Hortons every day. The Unlimited Sip Club, highly endorse it. If you have not checked it out, you definitely should. Now, maybe you don't like Panera's coffee, and when I first started going, it wasn't my favorite. And to be honest, it's not my favorite. But for 30 cents a day, I feel like it's even less than that. For $100 for a year, basically works out to 30 cents a day. For $100 for a year, it is definitely my favorite coffee. Kind of like, things. I would never say that Little Caesars or 7-Eleven was my favorite pizza. But for the price of Little Caesars or the price of 7-Eleven pizza, it's amazing. I realize 7-Eleven pizza is basically gas station pizza, but you can get a whole pizza for $5. Split it with a friend, it's $2.50 each. If you're out and about and you just need to grab a bite real quick, that is definitely the way to go because it takes like 3 minutes to cook. I'm not exaggerating. They're like they stick it in their oven and like boom, it's done. Here's the caveat with 7-Eleven pizza: you have to eat it hot. Once it gets cold, it tastes like absolute garbage. But while it's still hot, it doesn't taste bad. Now, it doesn't taste good per se. It's not Sammy's Pizza. It's not Bocce's Pizza. It's not Macy's Pizza. But it's also not the price of any of those. It's like $5 for a whole pizza. So, I don't know. That's kind of good. I don't know where we were going. Oh, so I was talking about the Panera versus Tim Hortons. Yeah, so for 30 cents a day, Panera is definitely 100% my favorite coffee. So I'm out and about today, and I'm at Panera, and I go through the drive-thru. They give me my order, and then I go to pull out of the drive-thru. So I'm pulling out onto Military Road in the town of Niagara, if you know where that Panera is. And I got to go left. So it's not even a driveway. It's kind of like a little road. I'm in the right, on the right side, but to the left, so that I can turn left, and so that somebody can turn right to my right. Because frequently you have to wait for traffic. It's Military Road. It's busy. So I'm there, and the guy behind me pulls around me to the right, so I assume he's turning right, because that's what you do from that lane. But then he turns left, like right in front of me. And I'm like, dude, it took some balls to do that, because he basically went, when I was going to go, I had to wait, I had to stop, because he went and I didn't want to hit him. But how big of a hurry do you have to be to turn left from the right-hand lane? Or is it just, and I'm going to posit that this is a real possibility, is it just that people don't know how to frickin' drive? Because I see this all the time. Now, I see this a lot in Lockport specifically. I don't know what it is about Lockport, but once you enter the city of Lockport, the rules of the road are different. Like there's the rules of the road according to New York State, and then there's how people drive in Lockport, and people in Lockport cannot drive for shit. It's just one thing, and so I lived in Lockport for a good 10 years, and then I moved out. So when I was there, one thing I learned about the city of Lockport, or even the town of Lockport, but drivers in Lockport cannot, for the life of them, figure out how to work a four-way stop. You get 4 cars at a stop sign, and nobody goes, or everybody goes, or people are like waving at each other to go, and it's like, no, it really isn't that difficult. If you got there first, you go first. I don't want to use the word hate, because that's too strong of a word. It annoys me when I get to a stop sign, someone has already stopped, so they should be going, and instead, while I have not yet stopped, they are waving me through. Well, I'm not going to not stop, so I've got to stop and then go. And if you had just gone, I would actually still be going in the same amount of time, maybe even quicker, because I've got to double check you to make sure that you're really waving me through, because you're not supposed to be doing that. There's no real reason for you to do that unless you think that I'm not going to stop. Now, I don't know why I wouldn't stop, because there's a stop sign and there are police in the world, and I know from personal experience, they don't like it when you don't stop at the stop signs. So you come up to a four-way stop, people are waving you through, it's complete chaos. There's this one four-way stop light in Lockport, and it blinks double red on both sides. It is the corner of Lincoln and Locust. And I don't know what it is, but that particular intersection in Lockport is just chaos personified. People cannot figure out how to work a four-way stop, especially that particular four-way stoplight. And people are waving at each other, and people are waiting, and people are like, they don't know if they're allowed to turn, and it is so frustrating and so annoying. I like driving. I genuinely enjoy driving. I don't necessarily enjoy city driving because not just in Lockport, but even in Buffalo or the Tonawondas, in Niagara Falls here, people can't drive. It is so frustrating. There is also the possibility. So this guy that turned left in front of me today, maybe he can't drive, or maybe he's just rude. Now, I do find that people are generally rude in 2025, ruder than they have ever been in my life. I really feel like at some point in the past, decade or 15 years, there was a memo that went out that I did not get. And I'm glad I didn't get it, because I don't want to have to abide by this memo. But there was a memo that went out that said, you don't need to be nice to anyone ever. And that seems to be the code by which the vast majority of America, if not the world, is living. Like you don't have to be nice. Take what's yours. Be mean. Step on the meek. Like whatever. Rude is American currency. That is what we do for American currency. And yet there are some people that are so nice, and it's gotten to the point where it's so rare that it stands out. And being nice really shouldn't stand out. Being nice should be how it is. Like, everybody should be nice to everybody, and you should have to be extra nice for anyone to notice. Like, for you to just be nice or pleasant, it shouldn't really stand out that much. But there are some people that are so nice that it almost makes up for the rude. Maybe not entirely, because here I am ranting about it, so obviously it still bothers me. But there are some people that are so nice that it makes life more palatable. We'll put it that way. As an example, so I went to Walmart today while out doing my things. Bought one of their roast chickens. I prefer the ones from Sam's Club, but I was in a hurry and I didn't want to go to Sam's Club and Walmart, and I had to go to Walmart anyway. So I got the Walmart roast chicken. Got some other things. I got some bread, some lunch meat, dish soap, tuna fish. I don't know. Chocolate milk, because I use chocolate milk as creamer in my coffee. It's a lot cheaper, and you can just chug it too. So I went to Walmart, and I'm in a line checking out, and in front of me there's a woman in a scooter. I would say she's probably in her late 60s, early 70s, something like that. But she's driving a mobility cart or a scooter or whatever. She's got her groceries on the thing, and the guy bags up her groceries for her, and then he comes around, and he's like, where can I put your bag? And she's like, oh, I'll just hold it. And he took her money, and he was so nice to her. He was so sweet to her. Not patronizing, just genuinely seemed like he was there to help. And a lot of times you don't see this. Now, generally speaking, I do find that customer service people are kind of good at their job. They got to deal with a lot of bullshit, and yet, for the most part, they still smile. But this guy, whose name was Ken, by the way, was so accommodating and so friendly. I had to tell him. I was like, Ken, after she left, I was like, Ken, you're really good at your job. And he's like, well, thanks, I try. And it's so nice to see some people trying to make up for the rest of the people. You know what I'm saying? Another example, people being nice. So in addition to doing this and doing voiceovers and hosting DJ Trivia, I recently picked up a part-time job. I used to work at a hotel in Niagara Falls back in the day, and I've started working there one day a week just to try to supplement my income so that I can afford my expensive lifestyle. So I was working last night, actually, and I'm just there at the front desk. That's all I do. I work the front desk. I spend a lot of time watching television, watching the news. Or last night I tried to watch Tomb Raider, but I literally didn't get to watch any of Tomb Raider because we were super busy. Because it's July, and in July in Niagara Falls, which is one of the biggest tourist destinations there is, there's a lot of people. So we had a lot of people to check in. I had a lot of work to do, basically. But I'm there working the desk, and there's these people from New York City that had sat down in the lobby, and they had some food, and I didn't know what it was. One of the great things for me about working front desk at this hotel is all the different people of different cultures and my being able to learn different things. I like to learn things. So they sit down in the lobby, and they're eating the food, and I'm like, ooh, what is that? And now, the funny thing is, they never told me what it was. They're just like, do you want some? And I'm like, sure. I'm not going to turn down food. I'm especially not going to turn down ethnic food. And I really don't know what it was. But there were these rings that kind of looked like big onion rings, but they were filled with rice and breaded and deep fried and then coated in cinnamon. It was a weird combination, but it was good. And then there was what looked like a tortilla shell, but it was a little thicker, so some kind of unleavened bread or whatever. And then this kind of looked like chili, but it was green. And so apparently, now I thought you were supposed to take the the onion ring looking thing, put it in the tortilla shell looking thing, and then put the green sauce on top of it and eat it like a taco, because I will eat anything like a taco. But I was told immediately that that's not how you do it. They're like, no, you just rip it off and you dip it in. So, long story short, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So these people were my best friends until about, I don't know, half an hour later, this other guy who I had just checked in, and we had a good conversation when he checked in. He wanted a quiet room, so I kind of went out of my way to find him one. And so then he comes down and he's like, "Here, this is for you." And I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome. What is it?" And again, I don't know what it was. It was some sort of Asian dish. There was noodles, and there was like maybe baby bok choy. It was something it was something leafy that was hot. And then there was little bits of, I think, pork in it, but I'm, again, not entirely positive. And then there was this red, almost kind of looked like jelly, in like a little cup that you like pour on top of, like a seasoning. But it was really spicy, and I didn't realize it at first. So I like dumped the whole thing out, and like my first couple bites were mostly the flavoring, and my mouth was on fire. But oh my God, it was so good. And then he also gave me like this thing of some kind of soup. I don't know what it was. But here's the thing: these are people that I had just met, and they were nicer to me than people I see on a regular basis. Not my friends, of course, but you know, you run into people somewhat on the regular, and they're mostly indifferent to you. I feel that people are mostly indifferent to each other. Indifferent is the base. Rude is not uncommon. Nice is not too uncommon, but it's too uncommon. Does that make sense? But indifferent, I feel like indifferent is the base. But these people who I had just met, like they're like, here is food, and like the one that wasn't a taco, they had made that food, and they're like, please share our food with us. And I'm like, wow, like imagine if society treated each other like that all the time. And I don't understand why it doesn't, but it doesn't. We should be nicer to one another. We should be kinder to one another. We should share our food with one another. But it doesn't happen all that much. Although I got to tell you, as a rule, when I am working at the hotel, and I used to work there for, excuse me, I worked there full time basically before I started doing voiceovers full time. So I was there 5 days a week, met people from all over the world. And obviously they're on vacation, so they're generally in a good mood. But just some of the nicest people who are overly nice for no real reason other than they can be. I feel like that's what needs to be the base. We need to be overly nice to each other because we can be. Because that memo that we all got, that I didn't get, but apparently everybody else got, that said be rude to one another, we should discard that memo, and we should replace it with be excellent to each other, which is, I think, what Bill and Ted said. But, yeah, there's that. All right, one more thing, and then we got to play some music. By the way, today's music, 2.0, Dolly's Ghost, the Finality Complex, the JT Blues Band, the Safety Meeting, and the Vors. Now, 2.0 I have played before, but this is a different song than, I think this is a different song than the one I played before. And 2.0 is a really unique band because I don't know anything about them. It's a song that we've had in the All West New York Library for almost 20 years. It was one of the first songs we ever got, and I'm sure at some point or another I knew more about this band, but yeah, the records keeping failed. And so I've got these songs that I love, but I Googled 2.0, and yeah, good luck trying to figure that out. I've tried to find this band and where they're from and, you know, who they are, and it might not even be a band. It might just be one guy because it's electronic. Anyway, long story short, I enjoy this band, this group, this musical act a lot. So we got a song by 2.0, a song by Dolly's Ghost, a song by the Finality Complex, song by the JT Blues Band. That one's also from the Vault. That's an old one. A song by the Safety Meeting, and a song by the Vors. And we'll get to that after this next thought. All right, so back to apps, kind of. Back to one specific app, specifically Facebook. Now, Facebook is the bane of my existence. I hate it, but you have to have it. Facebook messaging is a necessity to get a hold of people for some strange reason. I don't understand why All West New York posts most of their stuff to Facebook so that people will see it. Although of the 5,000 quote-unquote friends or fans or followers or whatever it is that we've got, I think like 20 actually see what we post. So that's annoying. The algorithm's annoying. And then Facebook over the course of the years has, tried different things. There was Facebook dating. I tried that at one point. Failed miserably. I think I had 2 in real life dates through Facebook dating. One, when I got to the date, the girl didn't look anything like her pictures. I'm not saying I was catfished, because they were definitely pictures of her, but they were highly photoshopped. And so that was one date. And, it was okay, but she wasn't my type, so moved on from there. And then the other one, the one and only time I have ever had a date with a police officer, that went really poorly, because, let's just say our politics didn't match. And we found that out very early on, and although she was otherwise friendly, and in my opinion, very attractive, I was like, nope, this isn't going to work. So, yeah. The funny thing is that, I actually left that one early. Like in the middle of our conversation, I was like, you know what, I don't think this works. I was like, I've got other things to do. And I left. And she texted me while I was on my way to work, actually, just after the date, within 20 minutes. And she's like, would you like to see each other again? And I'm like, no. How did you not understand that? Anyway, doesn't matter. Facebook dating is a thing that I don't have to do anymore because I got married a little over a month ago. But one thing that I do is Facebook Marketplace. Now, Facebook Marketplace is really, really interesting because you can find some great deals. When my wife and I were setting up our bar in our sunroom, we used Facebook Marketplace to find stools. Got great stools. Got a couple of other things. We actually got an outdoor bar for our patio from Facebook Marketplace. She's used it for some other things. She's sold some things. She's bought some things. And I typically just use it kind of to amuse myself. It's kind of like window shopping. I have a few things that I search for on a regular basis because I am looking for a deal on a couple of different things. But usually when I find the deal, it's either, in Henrietta, or it's not really the deal that it could be. You know what? I bought a car through Facebook Marketplace in 2020, and then I sold that car on Facebook Marketplace a couple years later. But I think that might be the only times I've ever actually bought or sold a car. I've messaged people, hey, is this still available? Or I'm interested in this. Can you tell me more about it? 9 times out of 10, they don't message back. That's annoying. But the thing that amuses me the most about Facebook Marketplace is the poorly designed ads. I saw one the other day, and it was a photo, no description whatsoever. The description said, where there should have been a description, it said, see photo for details. I couldn't tell in the photo what it was. It could have been a cube. It could have been an egg. It could have been just about anything. I literally have no idea what it was. And I didn't care so much, aside from the fact that it amused me how poorly people do ads on Facebook Marketplace. They'll throw up a couple photos, but then not say anything about the thing whatsoever. Then, just like in life, there's always the other side of the coin, and there are some that are so well done. Every once in a while, I will run across an ad or a posting or whatever you want to call it on Facebook Marketplace, and the photos are good quality. It will show exactly what it is you want, and then in the details, it will also list this is the size, this is the dimensions, this is the color, it's used, it's slightly, this part is damaged, this part, whatever. There are some that are so well done that I want to message these people and be like, hey, I don't want your product, but I just want to commend you for knowing how to do an ad on Facebook Marketplace, because for some bizarre reason, most people just can't. I don't know. It's so incredibly frustrating. But I continue to use it, and by use it, I mostly mean I scroll through it. Every once in a while, I'll like something so that like I can find it later. But for the most part, I just look. It's just browsing for me. Browsing and amusement. I don't know. Do you use Facebook Marketplace? Do you use it successfully? Do you have frustrations with it like I do? Let me know. You can let me know your thoughts on Facebook Marketplace or apps or your first PC or people not being able to drive or good ethnic foods, anything you want. Let me know. You can email me, Scott@ScottLeffler.com. That's going to go to my phone, by the way. You can, send me a message or comment via one of my socials. On X, I'm Scott Leffler. On Blue Sky, I'm ScottLeffler.com, I think. I'm also on Threads, and I'm basically everywhere, just Scott Leffler. Here's the fun thing. Those are all going to go to my phone, because that's the way the world works. Everything goes to your phone. This show, you could be listening from your phone if you wanted to. All Western New York is a great mobile site, and you can go there and then click on radio and click listen live. And you can listen to Here's the Thing live, or you can listen to the podcast, or you can listen to any of our other shows live. For example, on Wednesdays, we do a show called, I don't have anything to do with it. On Wednesdays, my friend Joe does a show called the Think So Joe Show, right here on All Western New York Radio. All right, with that, I'm going to take a break. We're going to play a couple songs, 2.0 and Dolly's Ghost. And then when we come back, Drew and I are going to talk about, I don't know, we'll find out. You're listening to Here's the Thing. I'm Scott Leffler. This is All Western New York Radio. Thanks. so much to do in Western New York. Find your faves at allwnyevents.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, the role of Scott Leffler will be played by SpongeBob SquarePants.
Welcome back to Here's the Thing. Thanks to 2.0 and the safety meeting for providing the musical interlude before we bring in Andrew McGrath. Drew!
What's going on?
Happy belated birthday, man. How you doing?
Thank you. Good.
Did you go out to the strip club and have a good time last night?
No, unfortunately. It was actually a nice, low-key, chill day.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
I know you're a big fan of your birthday. Is low-key? Low-key's got to be weird for you, right?
Yeah, well, it was different.
Like as far as adults that I know go, I don't know anybody that likes their birthday as much as you do. Like I feel like once you hit a certain age, birthdays just kind of fall off. But you still celebrate birthdays with that, like, 8-year-old zest. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not mocking you. Like, yeah. I'm kind of jealous of you because you still seem to have that joy that, frankly, eludes so many of us.
Well, there was two reasons. Well, because of always playing sports and always, especially during baseball, I was playing during so, like, I never really had a party with friends or something like that because it was a party with team.
Right.
And then with my dad and his birthday being July 4th.
Right.
Celebrating that together, and then since he's passed, I've tried to appreciate my birthday more now because and just in like memory of him.
So your dad's birthday would have been this past 4th Friday.
Yeah.
I know there were a million different places to watch fireworks, including at Sal Magley after the Americans game. I assume the casino fireworks were separate, right? I wasn't here.
No, they were Thursday.
The casino's fireworks were Thursday.
Yeah, so they're always the day before.
Where the hell was I? I feel like I was here. No, I must not have been.
No, you left Thursday.
I don't know.
You were out of town.
All right. Anyway, so I celebrated the 4th at my wife's uncle's cottage near Lindenville.
That's why you were out of town because you went to Lockport to be able to go.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anyway, played some cornhole.
Okay.
One thing I have found about playing cornhole is if you only put the boards 20 feet apart instead of the designated 27, I am so much better. Dude, I just kept hitting them. Boom, boom, boom. And, yeah, I know that when we played before, we tried to put them, as close to 27 feet apart as possible, by doing the walk-off with your feet thing. And I was not nearly as good at 27 feet. But at 20 feet, dude, if they make a new game called, like, Cornhole Light, I'm going to be a champion.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been playing in a couple tournaments lately.
Really?
Yeah, at the Mission.
They're very cool.
Yeah, we've had 2 of them.
Very cool.
We actually play with the 27 feet. So.
That's the way you're supposed to play.
Yeah.
But when we were at the cottage, there wasn't enough room to do that. So, but yeah, I just kept hitting them. I know that the Buff Club does Cornhole League. I know there's cornhole all over the place, which is cool. It's it's something different to do. One of my concerns with any sort of a league is similar to when we did that euchre tournament. I don't want to play with I enjoy playing, but I'm not great. I'm not the worst, but I'm not good. And I don't want to annoy people. And I don't want people to annoy me because, well, you're not very well. How do you get good unless you play? That's one of the reasons I like the bowling league we were on, is because for the most part, it was pretty chill. There were some teams that really took it serious. There were a couple guys that really took it serious, but for the most part, everybody was chill.
Yeah.
A lot of times, a lot of the things that I enjoy doing, no comment from the peanut gallery, I'm not really good at. But you know what I mean? But I enjoy them. Sex, for example. I enjoy it a lot, but I'm not going to win any awards. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Drew's not going to comment on that, which is good since he doesn't know. Although you should, it's probably on bathroom somewhere. Scott Leffler is the best.
Definitely not. Yeah. There's no bathroom option, at least.
All right, so I was away pretty much the whole weekend. Did the 4th of July at the cottage. Had a lot of fun there. Then on Saturday, I went kayaking with my buddy Pat.
I've seen that.
We went to something or other lake in Medina, Glenview Lake or something like that. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice. I was kind of worried that I was going to, like, burn like crazy because, you know, me with my delicate white skin. Actually, if you look at the back of my...
I can see the
line?
Yeah.
So, went kayaking on Saturday, and then I got my hair cut on Sunday. And when they, like, cut my hair to where it should be as opposed to where it was, I now have this, like, white ring around my hair. So that's kind of fun. But I was worried that I was going to burn like crazy, and I didn't. It was nice out. It was warm. It was nice by the lake, though.
Yeah.
So, you ever go kayaking?
No.
No? I like it. It's just something different to do. I go with my buddy Pat. We try to go a couple times a year, but we didn't get out once last year. But we went out, and we basically just paddled around and, you know, talk about life, solve the world's problems, you know, whatever.
So nothing got solved?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing got solved. But it was a good time nonetheless. And then, like I said, then Sunday I got my hair cut. We also went to the Wilson Boathouse this weekend. They do live music, I think Friday night and Saturday night.
Okay.
And so we went Saturday nights. My wife is, she's a band teacher, and a lot of her friends are also band teachers. And a lot of band teachers are in bands. So one of her good friends, husbands, friends, long story short, we went to see the Nickel City Choir Pimps, or Nickel City Pimp Choir. And they just do, like, you know, oldies. But very enjoyable, very good. Never been to the Wilson Boathouse before. It was really nice. The drinks were not crazy expensive. The food looked amazing. Unfortunately, did not eat there. We ate on the way there because we were worried about being late. But highly, highly recommended. So, yeah. And then Monday back at work. So, yeah. What about you? I mean, other than...
I didn't really do anything. Yeah, it was... Fourth, I hung out with a friend, Tim. Saturday, I didn't do anything. Sunday, I didn't really do anything either.
Really? So you just spent your weekend, like, stocking up on energy for this show?
Sure.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. We'll see you next week. So I said in the earlier part of the show, like, I have no notes for what we're going to talk about today. I hope you brought something, because I literally have nothing. Like, I just spent everything I wanted to say.
I have nothing either.
There's no sports.
Not really. Other than baseball and the All-Star game that's going to be coming up, and the All-Star game home run derby. Other than that, you know, that's like next week, I think it is. But
does baseball still use the All-Star game to determine home field advantage for the World Series?
I don't know. They've been changing so many things lately. I don't know.
Right. I'm not a fan of All-Star games in general. They usually, there's a lot more hype than actual, like, fun play. The one thing that I do like about the baseball All-Star game is, you know, like the home run derbies and the things that lead up to the game itself is kind of boring. But the side shows are kind of fun. Now the NHL this past year, their All-Star game was really cool. They did the Four Nations thing.
Yeah, the Four. Yeah.
And that was like some must-see hockey. I know people kind of went crazy about it because it was just it was really, really good hockey.
Oh yeah, I know what I think it was Sunday. I texted you.
Oh, right, because the bananas.
Yeah.
So it's Sunday. Drew texted me. Was it Sunday? No, it was Saturday. Anyway, whatever it was, Drew texted me. He said, "If you're home, put on the ESPN." And I was not home because I was at the Wilson Boathouse.
It was Saturday. It was Saturday.
I was at the Boathouse at the time. So did you watch any of the game?
Yeah, I was watching it. I watched it with DeMario. Actually, I watched it freaked him out. Like I was like, dude, it's basically it's Harlem Globetrotters that play baseball.
Right. So I've never seen a full-on game. They came to Coca-Cola Field, Salem Field, last summer or the summer before. I don't remember. Dude, tickets sold out like that. Like there was a lottery for tickets.
There's a lottery for every game.
Yeah.
Every game they have a lottery. Well, they have a lottery system, and then once you're accepted, because I looked on the website, then so it's a lottery system. You fill out your information. If you're selected, that's when you actually get to select what the possible venue that you're going to go to.
Gotcha.
And this one, that was Saturday, was at Fenway Park.
Right. So, as Drew was saying, Savannah Bananas, it's kind of Harlem Globetrotters for baseball, with one exception. The Harlem Globetrotters, the games are almost entirely scripted, and the Globetrotters always win.
Mm-hmm.
The Savannah Bananas, they don't play baseball, they play banana ball. I'm doing air quotes that nobody can see. They don't play baseball, they play banana ball. Rules are a little different. It is 9 innings or 2 hours, whichever comes first.
Right.
But the game itself is legit. Now, the things they do in between pitches, they do dances and they do funny things, and this, that, but they actually play the game for real.
Okay, so now it's a little bit different though. So say the first inning, one of the teams scores 1 run in the top of the first. Okay, and then the Bananas score 2 runs in the bottom of the first.
Right.
The game's not 2-1.
It's 1-0.
Yes, because they go by score of the inning itself.
I did not know that.
Yes. Yeah, and then the last inning.
One of the cool rules I remember reading about is if you hit a foul ball and a fan catches it,
it's automatic out.
It's an out.
Yeah.
I like that rule. I actually do like that rule.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if it's 2 strikes or not. It could be a first pitch, foul ball, a fan catches it, out.
Yeah. And they really do, from what I've seen, try to get the fans into the game. So it's mostly spectacle, but there is some real good sport to it. I've seen a lot of debate. I've been coughing like crazy today. I've seen a lot of debate on social media, people saying, oh, these aren't real athletes. And I got to disagree. I feel like you got to be above and beyond to be able to not just play the game, because they can play the game, but then do all that extra stuff too. I
think it's a little bit of both.
Like there's a guy on stilts. Plays on stilts.
Yeah, he's not very good though.
No. I've never seen a game. I've only seen clips. On
if you ever look at their if you look at their batting numbers, their batting averages or some stuff like that, a lot of their batting averages are not very good.
Well, it's because they make these crazy catches. I don't know. Were there any stupid crazy catches?
There was a couple of trick plays that were done.
Yeah.
Well, there's one guy in the left fielder. Pop fly as he's catching it, he does a backflip in the air.
Right. Yeah.
But it only still counts as 1 out, though.
Right. But I'm just saying I feel like that requires a little bit more athleticism than normal.
I think. Well, what it is I think if given the opportunity, a lot of major leaguers could probably do that stuff.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least the trick part.
So one of the cool things backing up to the tickets is that tickets are only $35.
Up to 125.
Really?
They're 35 up to 125.
I thought they were 35 across the board.
No,
unless you get them through if you get them from them, it's
35 to 125.
Oh, I thought it was
yeah. And then you can each person that wins their entry wins an entry of being able to buy tickets can only purchase max is 5 you can purchase.
And that's fair.
Right.
I really do feel like that's fair.
Right, which is kind of cool, too, because then, one person can't just buy 20 of them.
Well,
did
you ever try to go to a concert that sold out like that? Or
yeah.
Not even try to go, but you're this band is coming to town. That's cool. I'd love to check that out. And then, tickets are released at, 10 a.m. on Monday.
And then by 10:07, it's, sold out.
Yeah. But you can get them through,
all
brokers,
these other,
but at 5 times the price.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying it should be illegal because I don't like laws in general. But the ticket company shouldn't. The Ticketmaster or whoever should not allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying Congress should make a law, but I'm saying the bands or whatever should be no, that's bullshit. And the NFL used to have that, and Major League Sports used to have it in general, and they mostly did away with it by allowing third-party sales through their own websites. You can buy baseball tickets and then sell them through whatever the app.
Yeah, StubHub and all those type of things.
No, not StubHub. I'm talking about there's a Major League Baseball app. Remember when we went to the Jays game a couple years ago, and I had to send you a ticket?
Yeah, that was through the Blue Jays website.
Right. Yeah.
But that was right. But that's through their own website.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Is that Major League Sports have largely.
But it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Though it wasn't really a vendor. It was them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. is they're doing it themselves rather than forcing you to go through StubHub or whatever.
Right. And then a lot of people, though, StubHub, Vivid Seats, all those type of things, is actually they're already the tickets already purchased.
Right.
Already, and it's just people putting them on those sites to be sold for.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
My buddy Joe that does the Think So Joe show Wednesdays on All West New York Radio. He goes to a lot of Sabres games because he'll buy tickets day of for like $10.
I was going to say like $2.
Yeah. So seriously, like he gets them dirt cheap, and he goes on a somewhat regular basis because of that, because people are just trying to unload tickets.
Right, because they suck. Yeah.
Yeah, because they are a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So, all right, Drew, we're going to take a break, play a couple songs, come back, and we'll talk a bit more.
Okay.
You're listening to Here's the Thing. He's Andrew McGrath. I'm Scott Leffler. This is All West New York Radio, and we'll be right back.
people that don't understand my view. You know they never, ever, 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 ever win. No matter where I roll, fuck them. It's to my home.
The Niagara Falls Americans continue to roll, winning games and entertaining crowds at Niagara Falls' own Sail Madley Stadium. There's still time to catch a game or several in July. Get more details or buy your tickets at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. You're listening to All Western New York Radio, home of the Think So Joe Show, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Tune in or miss out.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, the role of Scott Leffler will be played by Sam Adams.
All right, welcome back to Here's the Thing. I'm still Scott, he's still Drew, and we're still doing this show every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on All West New York Radio, and then podcast later. You can find it at allwny.com, and then click on radio and click on podcast, and it's right there. Or just subscribe to it in your favorite podcast platform, whatever that is. I used to do a Google podcast. So at one point or another, Google has done everything.
Okay.
But then they're like, this isn't fun anymore, and then they just stopped doing it. And so there used to be a Google podcast, which was cool, and they stopped. There used to be like a Google News, and that was cool, and there still is like a Google News, but it's not what I feel like Google, like, they'll start doing something, and then like once they figure it out, they're like, all right, never mind, we're done. It's like playing a video game, and like once you know you can beat it, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
So like once they know how to like do what they want to do, they don't actually do it. They're just like, all right, that's how that works, and then they stop, and then
on to something new.
And then on to something new. But then they like never like make a full product. I don't know.
That would have to kill somebody that's like OCD.
Yeah. During the break, I was going. So Drew's going through his phone, probably looking for text messages from hotties, and I'm going through my emails on my computer. I get I kid you not, I have to get at least 150 emails a day, and not necessarily spam. Like I don't want to put them in my spam folder, but I don't always want to read them.
Right.
So I will go through and just delete email after email after email. And literally, so during the break, I just went through and deleted, I don't know, probably 50 emails that I've gotten, since this morning. Kept a bunch, of course, because you can't delete all the emails. But
yeah, you could,
but then you miss out on important things like this concert announcement. Just announced Kathleen Edwards, Video Vision, and the Arcadian Wild at Babeville, Tuesday, October 14th, day before my birthday. What's this? These are different. All right, these are all these different concerts. You ever been to Babeville? Do you know where it is?
No.
It's an old church on, what is that, on Elmwood, Delaware? I always confuse Elmwood and Delaware for some stupid reason. Lived in Western New York pretty much all my life, and I confuse those two streets frequently. But it's an old church that is now a concert hall, and it's pretty cool. Nice. So,
never heard of it.
Yeah. But they obviously send me emails with events. I get emails from other places with events as well. Let's see. Nope, not there. I get emails a lot from the Kaz, which is a relatively newish place in Buffalo that just does a whole bunch of shows. And then just other things, You can nominate a hero. Erie County Fair, nominate a hero. Drew, I think you should nominate me.
This is a hero.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You should nominate me.
For what?
For being a hero.
For what?
For existing. My existence gives other people hope. Because if see, here's the thing. It's the name of the show. If I can be so bad at so many things and still survive, it gives people hope that they can suck at life and end up okay too. That makes me a hero. Like, not an anti-hero, but like a hero in my own right.
So a folklore hero?
I don't know. Speaking of anti-heroes.
I was confused on the logic here. I
don't have logic.
Right.
Speaking of anti-heroes, over the course of the past couple of weeks, I watched the John Wick series, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Have you seen any of those?
I stopped watching it, too.
Yeah. It just gets to be too much.
Well, no, because, I know they're different movies, but the premise to me is the same.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it even in the first movie, even in the first little bit of the first movie, it immediately passes, it passes beyond what is even reasonably plausible. And it's a movie, so you have some, some suspension of disbelief. But, between the four movies, I think John Wick killed 100 people per movie. And they were all, could you imagine 400 people are trying to kill you and you kill all of them instead? I don't feel like, and oftentimes it's 50 against 1.
Right, and a lot of them are supposed to be elite assassins.
Right.
Everything like that, and it's
that said, I still enjoyed the movies, so.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just all right. I was all right. I don't need to watch this anymore.
For me, though, so when the first one came out, I was very skeptical about it. I was like, I don't know, can Keanu Reeves pull this off? Now, mind you, Keanu Reeves had already done The Matrix.
See, I never got into those either.
I liked the original Matrix, and then it just gets weirder and weirder as it goes, too. And then the third Matrix, it's just basically Neo versus weird octopuses. I never understood the octopuses. The Matrix. I don't know. I think I took the wrong pill or something because it just gets weirder and weirder. But I do like the stuff that takes place before they go in the submarine and do all that weird stuff in the later movies. I do like the stuff that's on quote unquote Earth where he's fighting against Agent Smith or all of the Agent Smiths and he's doing the bullet dodging and all that fun stuff. That's fun. But then it gets weirder for me.
Yeah. And it's for me, too, it's all those, Halloween movies and all that, and it's just a lot of horror movies in general.
Right.
To me, it's like, all right, you know what? I don't really have to watch this because I've seen one. I've pretty much seen them all.
Yeah, with a lot of horror movies, it is like that.
Yeah.
There are certain franchises that I do enjoy every movie of. Like you ever watch any of the Final Destination movies?
See, now, okay, I watched a couple of them, all right? I know, like, you know, like, it's supposed to be, like, crazy ways to die, basically.
Right.
I watched that show before, 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it's like, all right, I watched that show. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I really have an affinity for the Final Destination series. I have not seen the newest movie, which is Final Destination Bloodlines, which, from what I understand, like, is all people related to people from the earlier movies.
That's typically what Bloodline means.
Yeah. So, but I have not seen that one. I also like all of the Scream movies. Because you got to guess, like, who's Ghostface before the end of the movie, and they frequently do a pretty good job of hiding it. Whereas, like, in the Halloween movies, you know, it's Michael Myers. It's always Michael Myers. In the Friday the 13th movies, it's always Jason. And in the, Nightmare on Elm Street movies, it's always Freddy. So you know those. Whereas with the Scream movies, it's
I guess it's a little
a
little different.
I kind of like that, and like I like that version of horror that's like there's like a tinge of comedy to it. I do not like, and I've seen them all, but I really don't care for them. The Saw movies. I don't like things that are just violent for the sake of being violent. And I did not like the Human Centipede.
What?
Did you watch that?
No.
Yeah, don't.
No.
Don't do it.
Well, to me, like, all of them have, it's like, okay, so there's this horrible monster or whatever, and these people are running and hiding, trying to hide and escape this, and he kills a bunch of them anyways. It's the same plot in basically every movie. It's like,
I believe that Drew is talking about Godzilla.
Yeah. It's basically every freaking horror movie. It's like, and like,
now, one I really liked. Have you ever seen Cabin in the Woods?
No.
Cabin in the Woods is amazing because it's super campy. It's totally unbelievable, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so for me, if I hear horror movie of any sort, I have no interest.
You don't like horror? See, I enjoy horror movies in general. But there's got to be a twist to them. There's got to be something different about them. I do get tired of the Halloweens and the Friday the 13th, and they get kind of boring. But horror movies in general, I do enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah, for me, I have no interest.
Right.
Once I hear it's a horror movie or somebody says it's a horror movie, no, I'm done.
Huh.
I could care less.
Before the show started today, Drew and I were talking about the Into the Spider-Verse movies, which is the animated Spider-Man movie from, 7-8 years ago or something like that. And I was trying to explain to him how good it was. He didn't believe me. So if you also liked the Into the Spider-Verse, shoot us a message on X at AllWNY Radio. And let us know what you thought of it.
Well, it's not like I didn't believe you. I actually thought it was more like DC and that type of multiverse. I didn't think it was an animated cartoon.
Well, it's still part of the.
No, it's not. Stop going there. All right, let's grow up here.
Wow. Hold on. Back the fuck up. Do you like any cartoons?
Yes. Oh, I love cartoons.
Oh, so grow up. What cartoons do you like?
Like Tom and Jerry, like obviously Looney Tunes, like
sure.
but like yeah.
Do you have a favorite Looney Tune? I've always been a Roadrunner fan myself.
Bro, he was funny.
Yeah.
Funny. I think I just enjoyed it all.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But for me, Tom and Jerry were, like, huge.
What about newer cartoons, like SpongeBob, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Angry Beavers? Do you ever watch Angry Beavers?
No, I was Family Guy, I would have to say.
All right. Are you familiar with Angry Beavers? No. Two Beaver brothers, one of whom was voiced by Nick Bakay.
Okay.
And
he's from Buffalo.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And the one brother was kind of evil, and the other brother was kind of stupid. So it's kind of like Pinky and the Brain, but with beavers.
Oh.
That's
is it like a Dumb and Dumber type of thing? Like
kind of.
Okay.
But the one brother's not so much dumb.
Right, but kind of that concept though.
The other brother
okay.
is really so. It's Daggett and Norbert are the names of the beavers.
Wow.
And I like that one. I'm trying to think of other cartoons that there have been some real. Courage the Cowardly Dog was a great cartoon.
No, Scooby was
an amazing cartoon.
I actually liked Spud McKenzie as well. Yeah.
That was a commercial.
Spud McKenzie?
Yeah.
He was a dog in a cartoon. I used to have the good old Welch's grape juice, grape jelly glasses, and it was
a cartoon. He was the mascot for Budweiser.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't.
They made a cartoon out of it.
There was a cartoon.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I think you're lying.
Nope.
All right. I'm not even going to Google it. That's how sure I am.
That was a cartoon.
All right. Huh.
It was like a Spud. I don't know if it was Spud McKenzie, but it was like that. It was like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't remember that name. It was like.
I remember when I was younger, I loved the Smurfs and then the Snorks. Do you remember Snorks?
No.
So more often than not, Drew's just about 10 years younger than me. And more often than not, that age gap doesn't really play a factor. But every once in a while, there are things that happen in that 10 years that, so Snorks probably came out in like 87.
So I was 3.
So I'm 13, you're 3. That area is where we definitely find things where, like, by the time you were old enough to really pay attention, it was gone.
Yeah, like the one show I used to appreciate that was kind of like an animated show, kind of like, it was Dinosaurs.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the mama?
Yeah.
Not the baby or whatever?
Not the mama.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy that show.
All right. It was not my favorite. I thought it was weird.
Yeah. Oh, it was weird, but yeah, you just have this baby dinosaur just saying, not the mama, not the mama, not the mama, and then takes a frying pan and smacks people with it. Like, I thought it was hilarious.
Huh. Yeah, I do remember that show. I watched it a couple times.
But that's that age gap thing where it's like, yeah.
But so that was out basically at the same time as In Living Color, right?
I think so.
I think
Dinosaurs,
they were both
I
on
think
Fox.
were like 90.
Yeah, like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I want to say like early. I don't think it was late 80s. I think it was like 90, 91, 92-ish range.
Yeah. And so that is the same time as In Living Color, which was amazing, which I still wish existed.
Yeah, I didn't really get to watch In Living Color too much, because it came on later as I was younger. So like, I really actually started appreciating that when I was more in high school, and watching the reruns and everything like that.
Right.
So yeah,
and all the 17 Wayans brothers.
Yeah, and then
then Jim Carrey,
Jamie Foxx,
and the Fly Girls.
J-Lo was a Fly Girl.
Was it J-Lo? Yeah, I knew somebody was a Fly Girl.
Yeah,
and J-Lo was a Fly Girl, and Paula Abdul was a Laker girl. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Again, just goes to show you can come from nothing and be amazing. That's why you should vote for me for hero.
Okay.
All right, Drew's just staring at me. Drew, I don't have anything else to talk about.
I don't know. So who asked the question last time?
Oh, I think I did. I don't remember what it was. I think we each asked each other a question.
We did, yeah.
You asked me about my stadium memories.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what I asked you.
So then it would be actually my turn then, because...
Right, because last week was my turn, and you asked me a question as well, and I'm like, why are you breaking the rules?
Right. Yeah. I created the thing, so why not break them? I can do whatever I want over here, all right? Let's see. Okay. Did you, so with that post I sent you about Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because they have that one in, Buffalo that, it's the retro arcade game.
Right.
And everything like that. So, what do you think? How do you think it's going to work?
I think so what Drew's talking about is Chuck E. Cheese is starting arcades for adults. And it's called Charles cheese.
I think so. Yeah.
Charles fromage. I don't know what it's called, but it's Chuck E. Cheese for adults, basically. Hopefully they have better pizza because the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese.
They're going to be selling alcohol there too.
And if they have the alcohol, they don't need the better pizza. You won't know the difference.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I love Dave & Buster's. I still love a good old arcade. We've got a couple in the falls that I like. I love arcade games, as you can see, from being here in the studio. I have a Pac-Man game. I have a Centipede. I have my Nintendo Switch sitting on the desk in front of me. So I do enjoy video games. I really enjoy older video games. My favorite ever is Dig Dug. So a Chuck E. Cheese for adults with retro games, I think could do really well.
So do I. I think it could as well.
Yeah.
But then, what's that place in Buffalo? Like
Masuda Chow's?
Yeah.
Masuda Chow's is amazing.
Okay, right. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like that, or if it's going to be just actual console retro games.
I'm imagining that it'll be like Masuda Chow's, except instead of Japanese food, it'll be, a standard American fare.
Right. So like Papa, like the arcade in there.
Right.
Like I'm wondering if that's what this concept of like
right.
Chuck E. Cheese is going to be.
Well, so Masuda Chow's, they have some great old. First of all, they have like 10 pinball machines.
Yeah.
Ellen loves pinball. So we've been to there on a few occasions.
I played a Terminator 1 and a couple
but
of
they
ones.
also have like Spy Hunter, which was one of my favorite games growing up.
I played the Bond one, the 007.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they had Elevator Action, Burger Time, like old school games.
The Shack one.
Yeah. Do you remember Dragon's Lair?
No.
So Dragon's Lair was, again, it's that time period that probably mid to late 80s. Dragon's Lair was a game where you are a knight, like Dirk, I think his name was, and you've got to save the princess, but you've got to kill the dragon to get there. At the time, the graphics for this game were amazing because they did cartoon-style graphics.
Okay.
So it made it look, I can't say more realistic, but it looked less awkward than most other games. Because the pixelation wasn't as big of an issue. From what I understand, they're making a Dragon's Lair movie, which people of a certain age, my age, late 40s, early 50s, are really going to love. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, because I think I don't want that to be one of those things that's here and then all of a sudden, like, flames out.
Well, my concern, honestly, is that it'll never come to Buffalo.
What, the Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, because they're only doing like a dozen, and Buffalo's not going to be in the dozen. You know what I mean? So they've got to get to 50 before we get one. And I don't know that's my concern, is that's never going to happen. All right. So
I've seen this.
Yeah.
I've never played it, but I've seen it.
But like the graphics looked like this, which at the time was incredible.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. I've just never played it.
Yeah.
It
was a fun game.
It didn't sound familiar though, and then once I seen the picture next to it on the left.
Yeah.
Once I seen that picture, I
remember playing this game in the arcade at Beverly Lanes all the time.
Okay.
Because I was in several different leagues at Beverly Lanes, and after the league would end, I'd go play video games and call my mom, and she would come get me. And
now, what was the arcade name in the Boulevard Mall? You remember?
It was just Bally's, wasn't it?
No, the arcade?
Yeah. Wasn't it Bally's?
I don't remember.
I think it was Bally's.
The one with Aladdin's Castle?
Right. Aladdin's Castle was in
Was that the Summit?
Mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember what the one in the Boulevard Mall was.
So I think that it could do well. I think marketing's going to have something to do with it. But I don't think we're ever going to get it. I don't think it's going to do well enough for it to expand fast enough to come to Buffalo.
Yeah. So they just said like older games, but does that mean like retro? Like that's what I'm like.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Give
weird.
Me Hubert, man.
It's weird though, like because like what is considered old?
Right. I rewatched Pixels the other day.
You were telling me, yeah.
And it was better than I remember it being. One of the cool things is that Cubert's in it. I like Cubert. So Cubert was a fun game.
I didn't play it.
No.
No.
It's that time gap.
It was, what was that one game on PlayStation? Bandit?
Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember playing that. That was
Crazy Frog?
Crazy Frog.
You remember the Crazy Frog game?
Uh,
It was like a racing game. Anyway,
yeah.
Look it up.
Crazy Frog game, okay.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for us. Drew, thanks for coming.
All right, yeah, cool.
We'll do this again next week?
Definitely.
All right.
I got nothing scheduled. I do.
Actually, I do too.
I do too.
All right, we'll have to
I have a tournament.
We'll have
Euchre tournament.
Euchre tournament.
Yes.
Jerk. All right, we'll have to figure out when to do this because I am busy on Monday and Tuesday next week. So, anyway, you don't care, and that's fine. You've been listening to Here's the Thing. He's Drew. I'm Scott. One way or another, we'll be back next week. And
Later.
We'll see you then. Live from the archive. We've been hosting live events since 2006. We have them recorded, and we like to dust them off once in a while. Friday and Saturday nights, 9 to midnight, on all Western New York radio.